Good morning and welcome to the Peorian. I'm your host, Paul Gordon. Every other year, an organization known as the Peoria Garden Club shows off the horticultural skills of its members. Themselves artists on another level, I think you could say. It's called Garden Glories, a garden walk. And this year it is scheduled for Thursday, June 14th, beginning at 10 a.m. at 5 different locations plus Luthi Botanical Gardens. The Garden Walk is the chief fundraiser for the Peoria Garden Club, an organization founded in 1924 that doesn't exist to simply make yards look nice. This organization underwrites many important local endeavors, including to help keep the entire city looking nice. And that's important for a city that prides itself on being a tourist attraction and aspires to grow its tourism industry even further. The club gives grants for beautification projects, helps fund college scholarships for horticulture students, and takes on projects at local not-for-profit organizations and local schools. It seems like something worthy of support, while at the same time being quite pleasing to the eye. My guest today is Susan Davis from the Peoria Garden Club, and we're going to talk about Garden Glories 2012, where the gardens are located this year, and the Garden Club's newest civic beautification project after these messages. Welcome back to the Peorian. My guest today is Susan Davis of the Peoria Garden Club. Thank you for being here today, Susan.
Thank you.
The Garden Walk is Thursday, June 14th.
Yes.
Beginning at 10 a.m., correct?
Yes, right.
Does it start at any particular place, or can people start at whatever garden they want to start?
They can start at any of the gardens. They're all open at the same time.
What do tickets cost, and where can they be purchased?
The tickets are $15 in advance.
Okay.
They can be purchased at Hare Nursery, Greenview Nursery, Sheridan Nursery on Sheridan, Kelly Seed, and Greg Florist.
Oh.
The day of the walk, the ticket price is $20.
Okay, is that for everybody?
Yes.
Adults or children?
Children are $12,
Oh, okay.
up to age 12.
Do many children come to this?
No, they don't.
I didn't figure they probably would. They wouldn't get much out of it. Where are the gardens that are part of this year's Garden Glories Walk?
Tracy and Victor Heerman's garden is on Detweiler Drive.
Okay.
Rosemary and Wesley Bance's garden is on Alta Road. Joe and Jim Hackett's garden is in Edgewild. Carol and Jim Stuckey's garden is also in Edgewild.
Okay.
Joanne and James Masterson's garden is on Grandview Drive, and then Luthi Botanical is in Glen Oak Park.
Now, I asked you this off camera, but I want to ask you on camera. Is Luthi Botanical Garden always part of it?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay, why is it this time?
We just thought this would be a nice addition. They have been in the past, but it has been a number of years, and it's good publicity for them, and it is really beautiful to see.
Do they set the standard in Peoria, do you think, or?
I think they are really fabulous, and they are very open and welcoming to answer questions when you're there. It's really a large asset for Peoria.
Okay. You also have sponsors that help underwrite, correct?
We do. We do.
And most of them are involved, or are at least horticultural type companies?
Yes, they are, and they have donated very nice items. We have several raffles that are available, and they have donated items for that, which helps us raise funds for civic projects in Peoria.
Okay. One of the big questions I have then is, how do you choose which gardens to highlight?
Well, we have a committee, and some of these gardens have been on before, but it's been a few years. And then we just sort of sometimes travel around, or if it's a friend or someone knows someone who has a beautiful garden. Sometimes people will contact us and say they would like to be a part of the garden walk.
Okay.
We usually do the planning for it a year in advance. So last year we were going around and meeting with people. And it's really a lot of fun to do that, and people really feel very honored to be a part of the garden walk.
Do you look for any particular type of garden?
Sometimes we do. We have a very good variety this year. We have some very formal gardens. We have some that are very eclectic. We have some gardens that can appeal to someone who is just beginning gardening.
Okay.
And then there's also, of course, Luthi and Tracy Herman's garden that are very, very advanced.
Okay. With what kind of plants, flowers? What do they have?
They have everything. They have perennials, which come back every year, a variety of shrubs, variety of trees, beautiful annuals. Some of them have artwork in the sculptures in the gardens.
Okay.
Lots of water features, koi ponds, sometimes trails that go through, if it's a large enough yard, a trail or various levels that will go through the gardens.
They're that big?
Oh yes, some of them are very large, yes.
And these are just at home?
Yes, yes.
Could be your yard, my yard. Have you ever had your yard?
Yes, mine was in a few years ago. When the gasoline prices went up to $4 a gallon the first time, we tried to keep everything in one subdivision so people could just park their cars and then walk. And so that was in High Point. It was 4 years ago.
Okay.
And mine was apart. Mine is just a garden that anybody could do. I don't have anything very exotic. I like flowers, I like shrubs, I like trees, but anybody could do what I do in my garden.
Is there any other than, I don't know, prestige? Do the people whose gardens are part of the walk get anything from it? Pride? Pride,
sure. It's really an honor to be a part of it. I think it's mostly just pride and meeting new people, talking about your garden, sharing things. Gardeners are really very friendly people. They like to share. They will share plants, they will share ideas, they will share ways to keep the deer out of your yard. And so it's really very enjoyable to have lots of people come.
Deer and rabbits and everything else.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. When we come back, we're going to talk more about what kind of garden is qualified to be part of Garden Glories, and how you can submit your own garden for consideration in the future. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Peorian. I'm with Susan Davis of the Peoria Garden Club. Susan, since the walk is held only every 2 years, I'm thinking that it would have to be a really spectacular garden, would it not, to be considered?
We have very beautiful gardens, and I suppose you could say they are above average.
Okay.
But we do have a range. As I told you, mine was just, mine's a nice garden, it's just a basic garden. But then we do kind of keep going and going and going until we do have some very spectacular gardens, yes.
Why only every 2 years do you have the garden walk?
Well, it is a large event involving a lot of volunteers.
Okay.
There's a lot of preparation. We do the walk on the even-numbered years, and then on the odd-numbered years, we have what is called a flower show.
Oh, okay.
And it's not always at the same location. There is a very large agenda of flowers and arrangements that are entered, and so that's what we do on the other year.
Are they usually at a person's home, or are they?
No. They have been at country clubs or churches, just wherever there's a large ballroom, because many tables are set up and there's a large variety of flowers and horticulture and arrangements that are judged.
Okay, quick question. I've got, and I'm being, what's the word, hypothetical, okay? My neighbor, let's say my neighbor has this beautiful garden. How does my neighbor get the garden club to consider her garden?
If someone were to come on the walk, we have people stationed at every house and also at Luthi. And
by people, you mean members of the garden club?
Yes, members of the club. And the person with the beautiful garden could say, you know, I am so-and-so, I live here, I would really like to be considered. Okay. And we do have a committee that goes around, and in all probability, that's a very good thing to do, because we have been doing this for many years, and it's always good to find a new garden.
So the committee then, you have a committee who selects.
Correct.
The committee visits gardens of the people who have asked to be part of it?
Yes, that is some of it. Sometimes, and you do not have to be a member of the garden club to be on the walk.
Okay.
Sometimes we do have members who are on the walk, and sometimes we have people who are not.
Okay.
So I would just say to people, just speak to someone in the garden club, and they will get the name and address and phone number back to the committee.
Is it inside the city of Peoria only?
Yes, this is, well, Peoria or North Peoria. We would go into Dunlap. We do not go over to East Peoria or Washington, no.
Any particular reason?
Just because of travel time.
Okay.
Because we have the 5 gardens and Luthi, and it will take some time to go through everything. And that would be more time. Those areas do have their own walks also.
Do they?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so you have to be, do you have to be a resident of Peoria to be a member of the club?
No, no. We have people from Kiwani and other areas outside of Peoria.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What benefits for being part of the club?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
What benefits do club members get? Why would it be beneficial for somebody to be a part of the club?
We have programs September through May. We have workshops, we have bus trips, we have lots of educational and fun events.
Okay.
And you do need to be a member to go to many of these things, not everything, but for the most part you do benefit from being a member.
Okay. We're going to take a break now for messages from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to learn more about the Peoria Garden Club and what it does. But first, here is our own Kevin Kaiser, and he's going to tell us what's going on in the literary and culinary world.
Guess what? I have 2 new segments this week, you lucky, lucky people. The first one is called New Books I'm Probably Not Going to Read. These are new releases that might appeal to some of our viewers, but honestly, I'm not going to read them. First off, Calico Joe by John Grisham. This is a bit of a departure for Grisham, as it concerns the relationships between fathers and sons and is set in the world of Major League Baseball. Specifically, it focuses on a first baseman for the Cubs' AAA affiliate in Wichita, and since I'm an Astros fan, that automatically turns me off. Our second title is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare, which is the next installment in the Mortal Instruments series. Apparently, the demon Lilith has been destroyed, and Jace has been freed from her captivity, but then the Shadow Hunters arrive, and okay, I have no idea what those last 2 sentences were about, but if you do, you might enjoy City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. And our last new title, A Natural Woman, which is the memoir of singer-songwriter Carole King. The book takes us through her life from growing up as a kid in Brooklyn to becoming a remarkable success as one of the world's most acclaimed songwriting performing talents. You know, come to think of it, I actually might read this book because she is so brilliant. So I guess I'll have to change the segment to books I'm probably not going to read, but one I might. Okay, my second brand new segment for the week is called And for the Kids, where I take a very serious look at a new children's book. And by serious, I mean not serious at all. The first book in this inaugural edition is I'm a Pole and So Can You by Dr. Stephen Colbert, DFA. This book takes a playfully tongue-in-cheek approach to children's books, lampooning pop culture and politics. Is this a good book for kids? Well, perhaps the finest endorsement is right there on the cover, written by the now-deceased god of children's books, Maurice Sendak, who said, quote, "The sad thing is I like it," end quote. And you will too. So check out I'm a Pole and So Can You by Dr. Stephen Colbert, DFA. That's it for this week. 2 brand new segments. I'd say you did pretty well for yourself.
We're back talking with Susan Davis about the Peoria Garden Club. Susan, the Garden Walk is your organization's chief fundraiser, correct?
Yes.
And it helps you fulfill your mission.
Right.
What is the mission of the Peoria Garden Club?
We help fund civic projects. We spend approximately $5,000 in the Peoria area.
Every year?
Yes, every
Okay.
year. And the $5,000 is basically tree and plant material. There is no labor involved usually in that cost. We also give a scholarship to Illinois Central College. The recipient must be a horticulture student. Over the years, we have contributed over $10,000 to ICC students. We always plant trees for Arbor Day in various locations in Peoria. We also had a program. Susan Nashard is our chairperson for civic projects, and it was her idea to do a program with the special needs children at Richwoods.
Okay.
And they did bulb planting in the atrium area near their classroom.
Oh, okay.
And when we do these projects, we can then apply for awards from the state of Illinois, which we did with this. And the judges of the state board decided this was such an excellent program that it is being sent on to a national board.
Wow.
So hopefully we will receive a national award for that, which would be very nice to have.
Sure would.
We also contribute money to various areas of Peoria, certain subdivisions or areas of Peoria that will apply for grants.
Okay.
And they will tell us what they would like to spend the money on, what plant materials they want to purchase. And usually there are 5 areas, maybe sometimes 6, that we contribute money to. And they sort of do a before and after for us, show us what it looks like before and then when they're finished planting.
Could this be like neighborhood associations?
Yes, neighborhood associations, yes.
Has to be in Peoria?
Yes, it does.
How do they apply for the grant? Do they just go on your website, or if they know somebody in the garden club?
They can go on the website, or they can know someone in the garden club. Usually, we don't turn very many away.
Okay.
It does take some paperwork and it does take some time. So usually, if they make that effort, then we can contribute money to them.
The whole goal is what? Beautification?
Beautification, education, and conservation.
Oh, okay. How does the garden club choose which projects it will work on?
The board will sometimes make suggestions. Sometimes our members will make suggestions. They'll see an area of town that they think needs some improvement, and so that will be recommended. It's really very open. There's no definite rules that it has to be in this area or that. It's really pretty easy to get ideas from people. There are many areas that we would like to see improved, and luckily we have been able to do that.
It seems to me from reading your website that the club seems to do one major civic project per year.
Very often, yes. This year, the large project was at Crittenden Center.
Okay.
The outdoor area there needed some refurbishing, and so a large berm was created there with then some plantings. And there is a service sorority and fraternity at Bradley that helped us with that because there was a lot of ground to move. And it is an area outside of the center, like their backyard, basically, where the people can go and have a good time outside, very relaxing, very pretty now.
When you work on a project, you rely a lot on volunteer help.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay. And is that also basically somebody makes a suggestion as to what would be a good project for the club?
Yes, yes, that is, a lot of times that is what happens. Some things are continuations. One year there was a new veterans home that was built in downtown Peoria, and so at the end of one fiscal year we contributed money for plantings and grass, and then the next year we contributed again. So it was a 2-year project.
How important is beautification to the city of Peoria? as far as tourists, as far as potential employers or business recruits?
I think it's very important. When you see a beautiful plant or you see a beautiful grassy area or beautiful trees, I really just think it's very uplifting. I think it makes everyone feel better, and it just looks good. It looks good for people coming here, that they really would think that people in our community care about where they live, and they want things to be well kept.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And thank you for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed learning more about the Peoria Garden Club and will join its members on the 2012 Garden Walk, Thursday, June 14th. Remember, too, that you can watch this and previous episodes of The Peorian on our website, thepeorian.com. And tune in next Sunday at 8 a.m. on WHOI-TV for another episode of The Peorian. Have a good week.
Mm-hmm.